Welcome back into Coach's Corner West. We're at the Pizza Hut here in Bucyrus on this Monday night, the 10th of January. It's time for the Buckeye Central portion of tonight's show. We're brought to you in part by Lee Plimo and Brad Seibert at the Plimo Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallion, Hannah Newton at Wendy's, downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky, and North Central State College Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus. Pleased to welcome to the microphone and our video tonight. It's Rocky Ranker, the wrestling coach at Buckeye Central. Thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate you bringing your guys.
Yeah.
How is the season going thus far for you?
Pretty good. Our first match out, we had 2 broken bones. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, 2 seniors, so it was pretty rough.
Oh boy.
They were out for the season, so we had to do some adjusting.
Yeah, so you kind of had to go on the fly.
Yeah.
Now, how many years have you coached at Buckeye Central?
4. This is my 4th year there.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you teaching there as well? Or
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Just and where did you wrestle at in high school?
I wrestled at Seneca East. That's where I finished my career at there. And then I coached 17 years total. All the other years was up at the lake at Danbury.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Up by Marblehead in that area.
Yep.
Okay. Now, do they still have a wrestling program going?
No, they don't. When I walked out, they shut everything down.
Yeah, I know it's a really, really small district. Of course, they have basketball, but they play 8-man football and things like that.
Yep.
So, and you think about Buckeye Central is not a very large district. It's not a large school, and so many around here don't have wrestling. How pleased are you with the participation that you're getting at your school?
I actually was very surprised. My numbers were really high up at the lake, and I enjoyed that. So I come to Buckeye, and they said, well, we usually only have, in my interview, 4 to 5 kids every year. Mm-hmm. And I said, wow, this is not my style. And I think it was the second year I was there, we had 26 kids total to start the year. I mean, it just blew up from there. And this year I would have had a bunch of seniors, but they're dwindling down, broken bones, concussions. So yeah, it's been a rough season so far.
Has there been particular weight classes that have been stronger as far as getting wins than others for you?
This year, it just seems like the 175, which we don't have in 175. 175 weight class this year seems very strong.
Just you've got you have a.
We don't have a.
You don't have.
No,
okay.
We don't have one. But if we're at all these tournaments, it seems like 175 is the strongest weight class.
I see. Okay. What is your strongest weight class?
I like my 90 pounder, the 190, and I really like the 38 pounder if you can keep weight. But my 150's been doing really well too. So we've been to some big tournaments, and my 150 pounder he come around, made it to the championship now. So.
Good. What have you been expressing to these young men? And I believe you have a female on the team as well. Is that
yeah, actually, she's one of the seniors that broke her leg.
Oh, goodness. Jeez and Pete. Well, what have you been expressing to them that they need to improve on as the season goes on here in the second half of the year?
Shooting. Our biggest struggle is they're always waiting for them to do it. I tell them you got to get in there. Instead of taking the first punch, you go after it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is that just being a little hesitant due to lack of confidence?
No, it just seems like they like to tie up, feel them out a little bit, and they wait for the mistakes. And it's too late.
Yeah.
Just go after them, and if you make a mistake, you got 6 minutes to fix it.
As a wrestler yourself, and now as a coach, when I think of the sport, I think of it as being a very physical sport, but talk about the mental side of it and how much mental preparation goes in before and then during the match itself.
I tell them all the time, before getting ready to go out and wrestle, you get away from your phone, get away from everything going on, and go down the corner and just stare at one spot on the wall and think about, you got 3 moves. Think about all 3 of them, the way you want to match up with this kid. Hit the first one, it doesn't work, go to your second one. Yeah. And if the second one doesn't work, hope and pray that the third one fires away. Sure. And normally the second one I've always had very good success. The second move, I'm always hitting.
Okay.
So.
All right, very good. Take a break here before we talk to the young men around the table. Show's brought to you in part by Vince Ponziani and Associates at Waitcraft Industries. Rod Steiger and Associates at and we're going to start out with Isaac Krebs as a senior, and boy, these seniors are dropping. What's happening here, Isaac? What weight?
Here with a weight class.
I see. Okay, and the competition that you've seen at this. No matter how you get it right. Coach talked about knowing the moves and what really seems to be your strength. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing really well. Thanks for coming out tonight. And weight class that you're on?
I'm 190.
190. Okay. And kind of the same question. Are you able to keep that pretty good, or?
I think it was right after Christmas. I feel like I have a lot more control, and I'm able to do a lot more moves from the top and from the bottom and stuff like that.
What are the kind of the things that the coach here is teaching you in practice, and maybe some moves that you weren't aware of, or is footwork? How important is footwork in wrestling?
It's very important. Like, if you're unbalanced, you can get taken down easily, and it's a lot of if you have a very bad footwork, the other person has the advantage easily.
Mm-hmm. So what's the biggest thing he's taught you this year?
How to stay properly balanced, like when you're on your feet and when you're down. I never put legs in, and then he taught me how to put legs in. I feel like I've done so much better this year than last year.
Good for you. Well, continued success. Enjoy this senior year and have fun with it. Thank you. And finally, freshman Dominic Allgyre. Hi, Dominic. How are you? Good. Thank you for coming. Is this your first year of wrestling, or have you done it at the lower grades, junior high, and that before?
I've wrestled in
7th and 8th. Okay. And what weight class are you at? 126. You feel comfortable with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How's your competition that you've seen at that weight class? Has it been pretty decent?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty difficult, and sometimes I got some good matches.
So at times you could be going up against a senior, right?
Yeah,
Does that kind of freak you out a little bit when you know that this guy's been doing it for 3-4 years and you're in your first year of varsity wrestling, or do you not even consider it?
I don't really think about it.
Yeah, it's just another guy, right? He basically weighs the same as you, but his experience could lend to different techniques. But what has been your strongest technique? What do you enjoy? What are you good at?
I'd say my best thing probably is
Speed, yeah, quickness and speed. Okay, we think about wrestling, and it doesn't seem like a really long duration. But talk about how exhausting it is to go out there and do what you have to do, even for the short time that you're out there. Just
speed. It gets very tough.
and you don't get a lot of time to catch your wind in between, right? You just got to get right back at it. What do you want to accomplish as you finish out your freshman year? What is your goal?
Probably to get my record up and have more wins.
Yeah, very good. And maybe go a little far in the tournament. Would that be a good thing? All right. Well, good luck. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. And finally, an 8-year-old Seth Ranker. Hi, Seth. How are you? Good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And you know the coach, right? Yeah, he's your dad, right? And you're a biddy wrestler, right? Yeah. How long have you been wrestling?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. What do you like most about the sport? You like taking them down, being physical with them? Now, do you like being on top, or do you like kind of coming up from underneath? You just the equal amount. Yeah. Are you a really quick little guy that you can get around there and do that? Yeah. Now, where do you get to do your biddy wrestling at? Is there like tournaments that you go to, or what?
Not this year.
Okay, you're just working out where you can. Do you come to practice and work out with some guys and do some moves and things like that? Kind of. Okay. All right. And you want to be a wrestler when you get in high school, right? All right. Very good. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Chip off the old block there. You did a great job. I really, really appreciate that. Take one final little break here. We're brought to you in part by Blythe Freely, Todd McDougal at Freely & Company Insurance in New Washington, Ted Coder at Monarch Body Shop, New Washington, and the Ohio State University at Marion. A Big Ten education close to home. And Coach, Cary Classic was this last weekend, and I think you did pretty well overall. Were you pleased with the performance?
Yes, I was very pleased. Our numbers, obviously, we had the flu bug going through. A few with a cold, obviously 2 out for the year with the broken bone. So we had to move things around, but I was pleased, very pleased with what we did. My favorite was the Galleon tournament. I mean, that was huge to go in there with all the big schools. And we actually, I mean, when we went back to the coaches meeting, they said, hey, we want you guys back this year, the following year. You know, we're going against big schools, Galleon, Shelby.
Sure.
And I just wanted, we had a lot of experience. We had a bunch of seniors this year, and I signed up for the big tournaments. And actually, our next tournament coming up that we'll be in will be River Valley, down by where I live, about 4 miles from the house. So it's my home area where I grew up, you know, after high school. So pretty excited to go there. And the best thing when you go to these bigger schools like that is, we don't know nobody. So we walk in, they don't know us, we don't know them, and I mean, there's no surprises then. We go out there and we wrestle our match every time.
Sure.
We just wanted to try something different, you know, get out and about, go to other places. And
Well, it gives all these young men experience and that they normally wouldn't have if they're just doing schools that are relatively the same size as yours. So you mentioned that River Valley one. You also have one coming up this week at Willard,
Yes.
Willard Quad. Who else is at that one?
It's us, Willard, Western Reserve, and South Central.
Okay.
So, yep.
And then you go to South Central for a quad later, early in February.
Yep.
And then the NTEM Championships at Seneca East. How ironic there. Is that always a good match?
It is actually. It's probably one of our roughest tournaments, and it's funny this year. I think all the coaches agreed with one another where we would meet each other all the time, all through the whole year, and you got tired of seeing the same kid all the time. So we all split up and we went different directions. So this year, I mean, we've seen a few of them. We've seen the Cyrus and Cary, and with us now to come together at the end, it's going to be fun because we're not going to know the kids. So.
Sure, absolutely. Now, did the OHSAA bring back the team state championship, or is that done?
The dual tournaments are done, but
Okay.
yeah, we're still talking about, and I'm sure they're going to split everything up into divisions at different schools.
Okay.
So,
All
just
right. But you
things
did-
going on.
Yeah, but you'll have sectionals, district, and a state
You're right.
tournament this
Yep.
year. Okay.
Yeah, they got rid of the state duels.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, continued success to you and your young men. It sounds like they have some pretty high hopes, and maybe some really good things can finish out this year and have a successful year, albeit you lost some seniors to injury.
Yeah.
So those things happen for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming out. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Hey, coming up Tomorrow, we're going to have high school girls basketball. It's the Battle of Route 602, and it's Buckeye Central heading down 602 to Colonel Crawford. That game will be on WQEL right around 7:30. Wednesday night, I'll have Coaches Corner East on the WQEL Facebook page shortly after 7. I'll be talking to boys basketball coaches from Galleon, Colonel Crawford, and Crestline High Schools. And then we'll have Ohio State women's basketball. They're taking on Michigan State from Columbus, coverage beginning at 6:45. Thursday night, the 13th, Ohio State men's basketball, they'll be in Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Badgers of Wisconsin, coverage beginning at 6:15. Friday the 14th, we'll have high school boys basketball. The boys version of the Battle of Route 602 as Buckeye Central goes to Colonel Crawford. That game will be on WQEL right around 7:30, and then I'll be on the air for the Friday night phone board shortly after at around 9 o'clock. We have a girls basketball game Saturday afternoon. It's Colonel Crawford at Bucyrus. That game will be on WBCO, coverage beginning at 1 o'clock. And we'll have high school boys basketball in the evening on WQEL. Tip time at approximately 7:30. It's a non-league game, Lexington at Colonel Crawford. And then Will Beard will be on board for the Saturday night phone board. I want to thank everyone here at the Bucyrus Pizza Hut, especially our manager Crystal Stewart. Thank you, Danny Lane, back in the studio for all you do. My camera operator, Cameron Moon, here at the Pizza Hut, as well as Harper Boggs for all she does. Thank you to Bucyrus assistant girls basketball coaches Mike Middleton and Kylie Corner and their team. Thank you to Winford head bowling coach Barb Huber and her team, and Buckeye Central head wrestling coach Rocky Ranker and his team for being here tonight as well. Thank you to all of our sponsors and most of you, all of you, for tuning in to the show on our Facebook live stream. For WQEL Sports, this has been Mike Sparks reminding you, a spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.